If you're starting to learn a language or you're trying to reevaluate your goals, then look any further. In this video, I will show you how to set goals for language learners. You might be stuck learning a language or you don't know exactly what to do and how to learn a language. Well, then it might be a good time to set some very specific, very effective language learning goals. So in this video, we're going to talk about motivation. We're going to talk how to break down your goals. We're going to talk about how to find the best resources for your learning style and for your goals, and how to be consistent, plus some bonus tips on how to make your goals ambitious yet achievable. First, let's talk about motivation, and for that I want you to close your eyes and visualize in which situation would you like to use your target language. Just think about when you will use it and with whom you will use it. For me, I imagine like going to a meetup and speaking Portuguese like very fluently, very natural. The conversation just goes on and on and on, but also people are complimenting me on my accent. They're telling me that I'm doing so good and I'm just so happy about it. That right there, that thing I just visualized, it's basically my main source of motivation. Every time I imagine that, I feel very, very happy. But it's also my main goal. It's the thing that I want to achieve the most, that natural feeling when I speak Portuguese. Having this big idea or broad language learning goal, it's gonna help me know what skills I need to develop the most in order to achieve it. And it's also what's gonna guide us into creating our plan and our language learning routine. Also, let me know in the comments what is that big, major goal that you would like to achieve. Now let's break down that goal. A big broad goal is fine and it's inspiring, but it's also too vague. We want something more specific and something that we can actually use to keep track of our progress. So now that you know what your little linguistic heart desires, it's moment to take it one step further and to take that dream into reality. And we're gonna take that big picture and we're gonna think about the skills that we need to develop. In my case, in my natural dream of speaking very fluent, cool Portuguese, the things that I need to work on are pronunciation, speaking, listening, because I really need to understand to keep a natural conversation, but also vocabulary in order so I don't get stuck. So those are really the skills that I'm gonna need to achieve my goal. I can do other things, for example, writing and reading, and sure, that's gonna be helpful, but it's not gonna be as helpful as actually having speaking practice and pronunciation practice to achieve that specific goal that I have. So I'm gonna break it down even further and do things like I wanna have great pronunciation, I wanna speak fluently, I want to be able to understand everyone, and I want to have a broad vocabulary. Now we're gonna think about what resources and what activities are gonna actually help us to improve those skills. I really do believe that setting goals just because you have to set goals is not really that useful. You have to set your goals and a plan at the same time. That way you are making sure that no matter what it is that you want to get, you're gonna get it with practice and resilience and a lot of discipline. And if you're anything like me, you will probably set millions and millions of goals and never even start with them. So making a plan as I set my goals is really what has helped me in all this time learning languages. So we have to think about what activities and resources we enjoy to do, but also are gonna help us achieve those goals. For example, it's really gonna help me have actual conversations with native speakers to get to that level. So I will have to have many other conversations that I can do over on Skype or with friends in general, and that's gonna help me. And for that, I can use apps like Tandem or italki. So there I have my resources and an activity I can do. For pronunciation, that would also help, but I will also need to spend some extra time a week really nailing down the pronunciation and actually getting a tutor who can correct me into doing that. And I also want to nail the listening, so I will need a lot of passive learning, and that means a lot of music, podcasts, and conversations in the background to get me familiarized with the sounds, but also to help me start understanding not only the broad context, but word by word. The more I listen to it, the more I'm used to it, and the better and the easier it gets to understand. And finally, I will use maybe some app or some short reading material like social media post or maybe a short article about a topic of my interest, and that will help me build up vocabulary, because we all know that the main thing that makes us feel like we're not speaking fluently is not having the words to actually keep speaking. And now let's talk about being consistent with your goals and what are those daily practices that you have to nail down in order to get where you want to be. And we have to think about now, from that goal, from those activities, from those skills, what can I do on a daily basis? What can I do every day in order to get where I want to be? For example, I can listen to audios while I cook, while I clean, or exercise. That's a great way to get my daily dose of passive learning. I can learn 10 words every day. What are things that you can actually do every single day to get where you want to get? For some bonus tips on how to keep them achievable and not just in your dreams, well, of course, breaking them down and doing daily practices will help, but also being realistic on your timeline. Putting times or deadlines to your goals are gonna help you be more motivated, but also are gonna help you to have a time to aim for. So if you don't learn 10 words today, you will know that it will affect your overall time. My advice to you is that first think about a time where you can achieve it. Like for me, let's say that I will need maybe 4 months, and then I will add an extra month to it. Why? Because there are days where I'm lazy, there are days where I'm not in the mood, there are days where I'm just plain busy. So I want to add maybe a month or two to my time so I don't get disappointed if by 4 months I haven't achieved my goals. So following this plan, I know that in a period of 5 to 6 months, I will be able to be very, very confidently at a meetup, talking to my friends, and being complimented on my beautiful accent. Hopefully. I'll let you know on that one. Now you know exactly how to set goals. I would recommend you to stay tuned and hit that notification bell, because in the next video next week, we will talk about how to set the language learning habits and a powerful routine based on the goals that we just described.